A poor boy was standing outside a temple, soaking his dry bread in water from a public tap, trying to make it soft enough to eat. Just then, a young man came out of the temple after offering his prayers. As he stepped out, he noticed the poor boy struggling to eat that wet bread in silence. He stood there, motionless, watching the scene with a heavy heart. The poor boy, unaware of being watched, quietly continued eating, bite by bite, without a trace of complaint or emotion on his face. Once he was done, he stood up and walked away. The young man quickly put on his shoes and, moved by what he had just seen, decided to follow him. He wanted to know more about this boy's life. He followed the poor boy to a large tree near the temple, where he saw the boy sit down and pull out a small box of tools. The poor boy was a cobbler. That's how he made a living, repairing shoes under a tree. The young man suddenly had an idea. He looked down at his clean shoes and purposefully dirtied them by rubbing them in the dust. Then he approached the cobbler. "Hey, brother," he said, "my shoes got dirty. Could you clean them for me?" The cobbler looked up and nodded with a smile. "Yes, sir, of course. Please take them off and give them to me." The young man took off his shoes and slipped on a pair of worn-out sandals lying nearby. As the cobbler began polishing the shoes, the man asked gently, "I don't remember seeing you here before. Are you new?" The cobbler replied, "Yes, sir. I just started working here a few days ago." "Where do you live?" the man asked. The cobbler pointed to the large tree. "Right there, under that tree. That's where I sleep." "You don't have a home or family?" the man asked with concern. "I do have a home, sir," the cobbler said softly. "I have an elder brother and a sister-in-law. Our parents passed away when I was a child. After that, my brother got married, and soon after, under his wife's influence, he kicked me out of the house. They wanted the entire property for themselves." The young man looked at him, stunned. "So how do you eat? Do you know how to cook?" The cobbler smiled faintly. "I don't really know how to cook vegetables, but I can make simple flatbread. On days when I earn enough, I buy vegetables. Otherwise, I just eat the bread with water." Hearing this, the young man asked, "How much for polishing my shoes?" "30 rupees, sir," the cobbler replied humbly. The young man pulled out a 100-rupee note and handed it to him. "Keep the change," he said. The cobbler looked up, surprised. "But sir, I don't have change." "It's okay, just keep it," the young man said with a kind smile. The cobbler didn't say much, but in his heart, he was filled with gratitude. The young man walked away, lost in thought. The next day, the cobbler returned to his spot under the tree. As he was setting up, he turned around, and there it was. A neatly packed meal of bread and vegetables had been quietly left for him, with no note, no name. His eyes lit up with joy. He folded his hands in prayer and thanked God for sending such a kind soul into his life. Meanwhile, from a short distance, the young man watched the cobbler eat the meal with a peaceful smile on his face. In that moment, the young man felt a kind of peace he had never known before, a peace that comes only from compassion.